Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
So welcome to this episode of Touched and Empowered, Katie, with Ace again. And did you run into something or?
I've just been drafting stuff often.
So today we're just starting off with being scattered. It's been a rough week. Maybe.
Yeah, no, that was a blueberry to satiate that moment.
Okay. I was wondering what that was.
It was a blueberry to help me savor into the topic today.
About being scattered or the fact that it was a rough week?
But all of the above.
All of the above.
So also talking about scattered, look how big these blueberries are.
That I see one very big blueberry. Those things are pretty huge.
Yeah, it's like the size of, it's bigger than my thumb.
It's like quarters.
Yeah, so just, anyways, being scattered, yeah. What was the question again?
Before we turned on the recorder, we were talking about how we've been feeling scattered. And for me, it's been a crazy week. And you had mentioned that it was a little bit crazy for you too, and we were just talking about how things are not aligning at the particular moment, and how, in my case, I just don't want to do anything, but I am committed to the podcast because I'm here.
Yeah. Yes, she is.
Need to have fun with it.
Yes. From the depths of her soul.
It's rough. I mean, there are times that it's rough, and there are times that I don't want to do anything. You know, it would be nice to have a day off sometime this week without going over 7 days before I get a day off, but it's okay.
Oh my.
It'll work out. It'll work out.
Okay.
Everything always works out, right?
Yeah. Oh my. Ah.
I made you speechless. That's funny.
Because you're all right. So, okay, I used to do the 48-day work thing.
Working 48 days straight,
and then crash, burn, die for 2 weeks asleep, exhausted.
That's a little insane. I mean, I've done the 18-hour days for, I think my longest streak was 2 weeks of doing 18-hour days before I crashed and burned. So how the hell you did 48 days, I don't know.
I was running from problems.
Well, yeah, okay. I could see where that could give energy. Not necessarily the best kind of energy, but at least some energy.
It's like, when somebody just wants to keep working because they're not looking at their problems or what they need to fix. Or
yes, I did. I've done that. I did. Actually, okay. I did 3 months of alternating between work and sleep and nothing else. Very little communication with anyone. Other than, people that I had Zoom calls with or our podcast recordings or, clients or stuff like that. But no talking. I didn't talk to family unless I absolutely had to. It was a rough patch. Yeah. But I knew that that's not where I wanted to dwell. So I finally it wasn't that I got over myself, but I finally yelled at myself that it was time to stop wallowing. You don't want to be stuck in a rut.
That's true. Yeah.
So it started small, doing one new thing, adding one thing back on the calendar and reducing the amount of time I was working. Actually trying to go to bed at a decent hour instead of working until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning is a benefit.
Yeah. I think when I did the sprint of 48 days, I've
Yeah.
done it at different points in my life for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I did it, and it was beneficial, I was also 20. I wasn't even 20 yet. So let's mind you, I had a lot of energy, just a giant battery.
Right.
Like, you know how I have energy now. Imagine me at 20. Like, um, and I was trying to get over an ex-boyfriend at the time that I felt like he was just like inside my head at all moments of the day. And
Oh,
yeah, and it was not healthy, and I needed to get back on track. I felt like I was delayed a few things. And then it came to a point where it's like, because he was in my mind at all times of the day, I literally was like, I don't want to think. We're gonna work.
yeah. Yeah, let me focus on this so I don't have to think about that.
Exactly, the way to detach from it, right?
Yeah. And distractions are great to a point.
To a point. Don't get me wrong. This was like the best productive way of doing it.
Yeah, yes. And I mean, during those 3 months that I like cut off communication with like almost everyone, unless I absolutely had to speak to, I got an Oracle card deck built. I had 3 websites done. I had
Yes.
my including one of those websites was my website for my business because I didn't have a website for my business at that point in time. So a lot of things got done on the checklist. A lot of videos got edited. So a lot of because my mom's got video content for like the last 10 years, and I went back and cleaned up 3 years worth. I think I did 1 year each month during that time frame. Yeah, no, I'm not doing any more video editing for my mom for a while.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
I mean, it was stuff that needed to be done, but it didn't, though, like the video editing did not have a deadline on it.
Mm.
Because it was more of me just cleaning it up for potential future use, not that it's going to be used right away.
Right.
So it wasn't like she needed to have it done by any particular time, but I didn't want to think about
Right. Right. It's like
what
it's a
was going
self-soothing.
on. Whatever was going on outside of my desk
Right.
did not matter to me at that moment in time. Not good for long periods of time.
Well, it's funny that you said that actually, because all right, so reflecting back on that time,
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was at the end of one of my internships, and it was a radio internship. This was like part of those 48 days, right? It was in the
Right.
and it was a morning show internship, so I had to wake up around 3:30,
Yep.
drive consciously to the Staten Island ferry, mind you, consciously.
Yeah, you have to be awake for that.
Yeah, yeah. Get on the ferry to make the 4:30 a.m. ferry, just in case, right?
Right.
4:30 a.m. Funny enough, around that time, everyone's pretty safe. They're all just like, I need to just get to work. So that's the nice thing. I didn't have to deal with weirdos or anything.
Right.
I would fall asleep for 30 minutes on that ferry. Somebody working there would wake me up to get me out. Because you can't sleep on the ferry, they won't let you. So I was like, this is fine. So they would wake me up. I would take the train in New York City to the radio station at the time. This was 103.5 KTU, iHeartRadio. I would get there by 4:30 a.m., 4:45. They start their morning show around 5.
Yeah.
And I would be awake, sort of losing my mind, but I wouldn't be thinking because you have to wake up and go.
Yeah.
So I would get there, and I remember after the 48 days of that, a summer class in New Jersey. So I would do that at 5 a.m., get to my job at 9 a.m. in New York, in Staten Island, New York, work for 4 or 5 hours, then drive to New Jersey, do my homework at my parents' house, do a summer class, come home after 8 o'clock of the summer class, and get to look at my roommates and go wine, and then go to sleep. my
Yep.
my internship advisor at the time was like, you don't have to, you really don't have to do all this work. Like, it's okay. You can just chill. And I was like, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be wanting to learn more. On the flip side of it, it was also
Avoidance.
I just got out of a relationship and I don't want to think. This is what that means. This is what
Yeah.
we're doing. So
Yeah.
thanks. Just kept going. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that I had that 3 month stint of pretty much working 7 days a week, 18-hour days, and minimizing contact other than via Zoom. There was no in-person contact during that time. It was Zoom only because I unfortunately was seriously isolating myself. Not the case anymore, which I'm very grateful for. But it's the things that we commit ourselves to get us through struggles.
Yeah. And that could also be part of the scatterbrain too, right? Like you're trying to detach from something, detach from an
Yes.
old behavior, detach from an old way of thinking and not regressing back into it. That will cause scatterbrain. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's the scatterbrain because you're trying to distract yourself from whatever you don't want to think about,
Or shift yourself out of an old
or
pattern.
shift yourself out of an old habit. But you want to be aware that you're not turning into the scatterbrain that's like, ooh, shiny object, ooh, shiny object, ooh, shiny object.
You do want to be aware of that. I didn't know you wanted to until I got there.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think about it either, but I will admit that was when I ended up with my giant yarn collection that I have. Because I was spending money on yarn for future projects, and now I have tons of yarn and lots of projects to work now.
Okay, that explains a lot. That explains a lot.
I mean, you were at my house. I mean, you didn't see all of my yarn, but you saw the whole corner that's like completely filled with boxes and storage containers, and the 3 or 4 projects I had laid out across the
I
house.
thought it was just you had a really strong passion for something. I mean,
It
that's all.
it was not a passion prior to that.
I see. Okay.
It was not a passion prior to that. It was my decision that I was sick and tired of being at my computer for 18 hours a day, but I needed something other than sitting quietly with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
So crocheting gave me something to do with my hands that became muscle memory, so I can, depending on what I'm doing, I can sometimes do it without actually looking at what I'm creating. And it allowed me to actually shut off my internal dialogue and just focus on the movement of my hands, the thing that I was creating. And I could actually pay attention to listening to a podcast. I could pay attention if I put a movie on. With how loud my brain was at that point in time, I couldn't watch. I mean, I even put on movies that I grew up with as a kid. I could not watch them because my inner dialogue would get so loud I couldn't pay attention to the movie.
There's a beautiful movie that reflects all of this. Now that you mentioned a movie,
Oh, I'm sure there does. I'm sure there is.
it's like it actually. I watched it on repeat for so long because I connected with it so much because of this topic. I can't think of the name, so we're gonna Google it. It has Snape in it. The girl from Titanic.
Okay. Kate
Winslet.
Winslet. Okay.
Yeah. Snape directed it because rest in peace, Snape, the actor who plays Snape. And it's this incredible movie about this woman who was like the only woman who was a engineering designer for the Versailles Gardens. And
A little chaos.
A little chaos. Honestly, that movie like stirred all the emotions.
And now that I understand what you mean by Snape directed it, it was Alan Rickman who directed it, who happened to
That's
play Snape.
that
I
is
thought you were talking about somebody who was actually named Snape.
oh. I meant Harry Potter. Yes, Alan Rickman.
Okay,
Okay.
so thank you, Google, for recognizing what I was trying to do.
We said scatterbrain, right? Thank goodness for Google to help us remember the parts and the bridges of the scatter.
Yes.
And this movie, it was beautiful because essentially Kate Winslet, in her role, she goes through a traumatic experience with her family, and she doesn't want to think about it. Like, she doesn't want to grieve. She's just not ready to really process the trauma from it.
Right.
In the midst of doing that, she's an incredible landscaper, gardener. She created like one of the most amazing pieces of the Versailles gardens,
Wow.
right? And it's when she's doing this, when she's creating it, she is actually being all of the memories from the trauma come up at each milestone of her creation, and she has to reconcile with it each time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and there was a beautiful old lady that asked her about that trauma. And everyone in the room that she's sharing that piece of trauma with, all of them are like, no, we've gone through the same thing. And the old lady shares, when you are strong enough, you will be able to let it go, and like you'll be able to see it and you'll let it go. And by the time she's
What a good message.
right, and by the time she's done with this incredible piece of the garden, she right before the completion of it, she was strong enough to let it go.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Okay, so that's going on the watch list.
It's such a wonderful. Hands down, one of my top 10 favorite movies.
It might be next month when I watch it, but it's going on my watch list.
It's super healing, and it makes sense why we, as the types of individuals that we are, need to create something and then finally feel strong enough to let it go afterwards.
Which does make sense, because I created, with the yarn anyways, shawls, blankets, scarves, stuffed animals, and I was trying everything. And it did help me work through what I was trying to avoid. Not completely, but at least work through it enough to where I felt like I could function outside of the house. So it took a lot of slowly baby steps when I made the decision as to, okay, I'm ready to go out and start talking to humans face to face again. But yeah, it worked out. I mean, hey, you got a scarf out of it.
It's very cute.
I've left blankets and shawls at my sister Jamie's house. I've sent stuff to my sister Stephanie. I've given stuff to friends.
My yellow tree is right here.
Yep, the yellow tree is up there. That you got that too, because the green tree that I can't point because I'm pointing the wrong way. Whatever.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's that silly mirror image thing that's. So it's fun. I still find it very therapeutic to work on my crochet stuff with the most current. The project I've worked on the most this week has been my blizzard blanket.
Oh right, yeah, because it's like, it's cool looking. Like when I saw it, I was like, that looks like it's gonna keep me warm for decades.
And that's the plan. And the funny thing is, I had my neighbor. I was talking to my neighbor, the ones that helped dig me out that we talked about last time or previous episode, whatever. They had asked about the blizzard blanket because I was telling them about it before, because I'd only rough dimensions. Width-wise, it's about a queen-size blanket. Height-wise, it's about maybe, when I spoke to them, it was about maybe 6 inches. It's now like 1.5 feet in height. And they were asking me about it, how much I got done during the actual snowstorm part of it. And I was like, well, I only got so much, but I have decided that I'm going to continue working on this blanket until all of this snow melts. And however big it gets is however big it gets. Now, I will preface it that with knowing the fact that it is not going to get above freezing for at least another week. So I'm going to be able to probably have a very huge queen size blanket. But, well, either the snow's going to melt or I'm going to run out of yarn, one or the other. I don't know which one's going to happen first.
I don't know about the running out of yarn ever, to be honest. I was
Well,
just like,
no. I only bought so much of this particular yarn when Joann's was going out of business.
oh, okay, I understand.
So I could probably buy it straight from the manufacturer, but I'm not going to because then I have to pay full price, and I'm not paying full price for this yarn.
Oh, keep going. I get it. Yeah. No.
So
sure.
I got it at a great deal because the store was closing.
Mhm.
And if I don't have enough, then it'll just be as big of a blanket as it is. It doesn't have to be any specific dimensions.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and it'll be wonderful and magnificent, literally. I think
Yes, and it's nice and fuzzy.
Oh. So it's so funny that you mentioned that too. Like, I'm kind of. So you have your passion project that's helping, right?
Yes.
My passion project. Is my dog. Okay.
Well, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
you have midnight to take care of, so that does take a lot of your focus and
it's a different type of. It's not just like one of those dogs that you can just plop
right.
like flat.
And when all of this was going on, there were no pets in this house.
Mm.
So yeah, so my son's pet rat lived here for a while he lived on campus because he couldn't have the rat in his dorm, or rats plural because he had multiple then. So they stayed here and I took care of them and that was fine. But they have hence passed on. They lived longer than anticipated, so they lived long lives, which is great. Right now the house is pet free until Austin moves back home. And then there'll be a cat in the house. Which is going to be interesting.
You look so happy.
I am excited about the chaos it's going to cause.
A little chaos.
It's going to be a little chaos. Only because my house is not really pet proof.
Yeah.
We learned this with Midnight.
When Midnight came to visit Katie, I literally looked around and I'm like, oh, snap.
Yeah, no, I got breakable stuff like everywhere.
A fan on a table where her tail can just whip it. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, Midnight knocked over the fan. The fan didn't break. It's fine.
But I was like, it's coming. I know it's coming. Perfectly okay. Like, I think. Sorry, I'll pull us right back to this to the topic of the scatterbrain healing projects. When we think about the different things that we're creating and building.
Mm-hmm.
So funny enough, the podcast that we're doing.
Right.
Actually, all right, let me give this a highlight to everybody that has been following me for a while, actually. So there was a big shift and change between, when did we start the podcast? 2000.
I don't know. Give me 1 second. I'll get you the exact date.
Okay.
Do you want the date of the recording or the date of the first episode that we
Recording
dropped? The date of the recording. Okay. So while I pull that up, you can keep talking.
Thank you. So the date of our recording, there was a genuine difference between what I would normally create, who I would normally work with, what I would normally do, to, and the date that we started this podcast, I want to say is the signifying, this is where everything completely shifted away from everything that I used to do.
April 2023.
Yep, April 2023. That was the date. 2023, right? Prior to that, I was focused on a different type of company. I was working with different types of individuals who had different types of values compared to now. I knew what I wanted to do then, but I didn't have the conviction to just throw away the old stuff and finally start the new until we started this podcast.
Right.
And that was interesting. Even the way that I would date people, like just completely 100, like 180 change. Right. And every time we do an episode or as we built our podcast, I had to literally confront any of the sticky residue or dis-ease of whatever happened while I was building older podcasts, creating
Right.
other things. Any of those internal conflicts that I had would come to the surface, and I had to reconcile and look at it as we were building our
Yeah.
and then
And
with our retreat.
yeah, and that's going to be a whole new chapter, because when we had started recording, I had done my first international retreat that I went to, got to go to Hawaii. We had just started recording before I went to Egypt, I think. And we had continued recording because the first episode I don't think actually aired until like June
Right.
or July of 2023, because we wanted to have a couple episodes in the box, so to speak. So that was my big personal healing journey launch, was because of those trips that I had gone on. And that just helped fuel the belief that I could do a podcast and it be just open, honest conversations, not planned scripts.
Right. And not perform it like
well, I'm okay. We perform, we make fools of ourselves, but
that, like, we kind of grew out of the performative.
Yes, I think we were very reserved because we were trying to, at least for me, aim for perfection.
Right. And I was learning. I was learning a new voice.
Yeah,
that made sense, because the older one, I knew it was performative and I understood that, and it would hurt by the time I would leave the podcast or leave the live that I was on or whatnot. Don't get me wrong, some of the content was sincere and I loved that portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other portion of it, it came from a place that was hurt. It wasn't healed. And as we shifted into our podcast, I was like along my healing journey, and it was coming from a place that was actually healed, and we were moving forward with conversations that came from healing.
And if nothing else, it shows growth.
Yeah, apparently I did a Benjamin Button. That was my growth. I just kept getting younger looking. Somebody told me I need a new headshot because I looked too old in my my earlier headshot.
I don't know whether I look older or younger, and to be honest, I don't care.
You look vibrant, or I'm joking on it. Don't mind me. Just
all I know is that I am definitely smiling more now without it being forced.
We should look back and see how forced your smiles were.
Oh, no.
I don't want to look back. It's okay.
I don't want to look back. This
is a genuine smile. Let's put it that way. This is genuine.
It was. Because, well, I also know that when we were trying to have in the very beginning, when we were trying to have open conversations, there were a couple episodes, and if anyone goes back and looks, you could probably see it, where my responses were very guarded.
Oh.
I was very careful what I was saying. And the reason was because there were other people in the house.
Oh, yes.
That did not necessarily like the fact that I was expressing how I truly felt.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But that's not the case because they're gone.
There you go.
So I can do whatever the heck I want because I'm by myself. Yay! Well, until my son comes home.
Yeah, no, I get that. Aw.
I joke about, I'm happy he's coming home, and part of me is not happy that he's coming home.
It's an adjustment.
It's an adjustment. That's all that it is.
Yeah. And this is going to run to a part two. It's okay.
Oh, probably, yeah.
We're going to let this run to a part two. It's perfectly fine. Um, so when the scatterbrain comes, don't you ever feel like, for me, I was like incredibly scatterbrained because I was shifting everything. I was shifting an old lifestyle. I was shifting I was creating the regimented lifestyle, not as regimented in a way where it was more of like a rhythm and a flow. I was like really creating the best rhythm of work, rest, receiving inspiration, and then output. Like, that social life. I was literally creating a completely new, different version of who I am that I am now.
Right.
And that takes going through the thoughts and declutter and receiving new thoughts and declutter and receiving new thoughts and then cementing them into reality by taking action and changing the behaviors. It's a lot, and we have a lot of stress now, especially with taxes coming up.
Yes, but that one at least has a deadline on it. Then we don't have to worry about it until next year.
I'm still getting started because I want to get them done.
I agree. I want to get them started so we can get them done.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I want to point out is we keep talking about being scattered, but there is the difference to being scattered to where you can't focus on anything, and the being so focused on one thing so you don't have to think about anything else, and not realizing that you're forgetting important things or you're missing out on important things. Because if you shift off of whatever your focus is, thoughts can come in, new challenges can come up, or new things that need to heal come up, because it's time.
Yeah, let's talk. I'm going to give you a nice example of that, everybody.
Okay.
It's present. So October, November, December, right?
Right.
October 2025, move. November 2025, move. Again. December 2025, road trip across the United States. So with all of that, like you said, I had to focus, especially when I was on the road.
Yes.
I had to focus. Otherwise, things could come up, like getting stuck in Paonia during a...
in a snowbank.
Thank
you, firefighters.
Thank you, firefighters. Thank you, Paonia firefighters. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you all so much. You have no idea. Yes. Yes. And then on top of that, there is... So with the move, I didn't get the notice to renew my health insurance because my paperwork got lost. And yesterday I went to go get, put in my medication or pick up my medication from CVS. And I saw the copay was like not $5. It was about 24 times the amount of $5. And like, I was like, I call and I'm thinking about like, oh my gosh, I needed the one time, because I'm actually very good about renewing my health insurance. As soon as it comes in the mail, the notices, everything, I'm like, write that. I don't want to spend $500 to $700 a month on my medical bills ever again.
Right.
Yes, I did once. But the fact of the matter was, being that scatterbrained, thankfully, you can still hone into the important stuff as soon as you can.
It does allow you to shift focus.
It allows you to be present, to resolve the issue fully resolve an issue that's in front of you.
Yes.
Instead of the Band-Aid issues that you can...
Yeah, but it's just to be mindful when you catch yourself in one of these intense focus sessions. As much as you don't want to take a moment to step back and breathe to find out why, shoveling down the feelings and trying to put a lid on that pressure pot is going to cause an eruption if you're not careful.
Yeah, what you just saw. That's exactly. I promise you. Oh my! And you know what's funny was like I went straight to my chat GPT and I was like, "Hey, help!" And my chat GPT understands my nervous system, so help regulate my nervous system, and then understand that coming from a place of, because we have the negative self-talk of we made the mistake, and that also adds to the self-blame adds to the mental chatter.
It does.
So I needed that grounding AI to say like, no, you're actually being pragmatic. It's okay. With what you just explained, you qualify for special for specialized program to renew your health insurance anyways. So it's like you're also being pragmatic. You're also handling the situation as soon as you found out within 45 minutes of eruption, and and you're doing good. And then you keep going, and then just having that stabilizing voice of reason to thank you dinging to share that like you going straight to a solution and
Right.
solving it immediately and fully will actually help with the scatterbrain too and keep.
Yeah. And the negative self-talk that we all have, because our brains are naturally negatively biased. That's how we survived as cave people. I've got a whole story on that, but that's for another day. But there are ways to reprogram our inner dialogue.
Yes, Katie, tell them how.
That's another long story, but short version.
That was
an alley-oop, and I appreciate the alley-oop, and I'm gonna try to work with it here because I was not planning on doing this. The one of the things that I have learned with with one of the recent certifications that I've done, and another one that I'm currently in, is that by reframing and writing a powerful, what's called an I am statement, and making it, as one of my coaches says, making it crunchy, giving it specifics. Like, it has to have a date as to when the goal is going to be completed. It has to have exact values, like a certain dollar amount or a certain time frame. There's the commitment to saying that statement 3 times a day. First thing when you wake up in the morning, halfway through your day, and then again before you go to bed. Yeah, don't knock that over.
I mentioned how I'm just dropping things.
Yeah. But it helps us by doing it repetitiously. It's creating the new habit and creating the new maps in our brain. So then that way we're not going down the I can't trail. It's sticking to the I am. And I know that when I first started this positive auto self-talk, my statements were not as empowering as other people's statements that I heard because I could not see myself there at that moment in time. So I'll share my first I am statement. I am capable, creative, and resourceful enough to figure this out. That was my first statement because that was where I was at that moment in time. Now, I know I'm capable of doing everything I want. I know I'm resourceful enough to figure out everything in my world. Actually, almost 100% because I felt the kick in the gut there. So
it'll come.
It will come. It's getting there. It's no longer knocking me down on my butt. Now it's just a little twinge. So it's getting there. But that's the thing is that I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. I'm still creating these statements, and it's making it easier to accomplish things that even though it's been a very rough week, I've met all of my commitments. I met all my promises. I kept everything that I said, gave my word that I was going to get done. I'm not hiding in a hole. I was out and doing things this morning, even though I did not want to leave the house this morning. So it's giving me the subconscious push to follow through with this new empowering I am statement that I'm telling myself every single day.
That's beautiful. You just made me think of my first I am statement.
You gonna share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I was going through a college come down.
Okay.
You utilize whatever verbiage you want to use on that. That, right? I was coming down from something. And it was a bad come down. It was awful. Like I felt pain in every part of my body. It was horrible. And the only way that I could get out of it, this was before I started chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. This was like way before that. And the statement was, I am strong.
Mm-hmm.
I am beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful could be anything, honeys.
Yep.
There's beauty in everything. So I am strong. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am loved. And I said that on repeat, on repeat, on repeat until the pain didn't feel like it was killing me.
Yep.
And that was and I couldn't fall asleep too. It was like, because I was just feeling so awful. And that affirmation helped me dig and pull myself out of the hole that I fell into of my own soul. If anyone
It is. It's very empowering. And the funny thing is that if somebody else tells you you're beautiful, you are strong, you are capable, you are resourceful, you are creative, you are loved, there's a barrier.
I can say thank you.
Yeah, we can say thank you, but whether it gets to the subconscious or not, there's a barrier there.
Mine, yeah.
What I found, my little hack, which I'll share with everyone.
Okay.
When I was first doing these statements, I was speaking them out loud. Because when you hear yourself talk, your subconscious is more likely to believe it. So I recorded myself out loud speaking all of my I am statements. So then that way I could just press play on my phone and it will play all of them for me.
That's cool. Yeah, I actually, I did one of those as well. Yeah, I actually didn't. Before there was a huge moon. I forgot which one it was. It was a huge specific type of eclipse or whatnot, and there was some intuitive person on my social media feed that said you should write out everything in past tense in your I am statements.
Right.
Right. And I made 4 different sheets
Mm-hmm.
of the different types of I ams for different parts of my life.
Yep.
And after writing it out loud and reciting them and then keeping them on a voice memo so that I could listen to it,
Mm-hmm.
I burned the papers so that, this is part of the ritual.
Yep. That's usually part of the ritual.
It's usually part of the ritual. So I have to go find it.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is the only reason that I even started doing that was because one of my friends sent me an audio recording of him saying, I am calm and relaxed. I am calm and relaxed. And he just repeated that phrase like 10 times on an audio recording, hoping that I could listen to it and get my breathing under control when I was having panic attacks. And it worked to a point. Yeah.
How did that go? Okay.
Well, it was enough to disrupt the panic attack, but not enough to calm me down. So what I did is I recorded myself saying it in a time when I was actually calm and relaxed. And that got through immediately.
Because I was about to say, I'm like, hearing somebody else say it doesn't click as well. So I was
So again, that was just reinforcing what I heard about when I say something out loud, I hear it subconsciously more clearly than if somebody else says the exact same thing.
And it's interesting. Sometimes it does work with somebody else saying it,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to be through, from what I've been hearing, you rhythmically have to enjoy it, like music.
Yeah.
Then
yes.
you 100%.
It's the pitch of the person's voice, the cadence, the tempo. There's so many components to it, which is why if you listen to a meditation, some meditations work for you and others don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had not considered that it was because of tempo, cadence, or whatever wonky intuitive energy I was feeling from the person when they were doing the meditation that I just couldn't relax. So it's just something to be mindful of. And by all means, if it doesn't work with somebody else reciting a meditation to you, ask them for the script and record it yourself.
Yeah, no, that actually will work. You do the script, you record it yourself, you listen to it, because, for instance, I can say I am. This is a Bob Proctor quote. I'm so happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I know that by heart because I've said it over 100 times a day at one point, right? And what ends up happening is you can hear me say that. It's not going to do anything. It might shift you into, what's that? Or
it might pique your curiosity, or it might open you up.
But it won't have the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
To the point of you saying it yourself, hearing you say it, because now you're envisioning you saying it, and you saying it not just now, but into the future. That will actually create, or at least move you in the direction of creating that new reality for yourself.
And who knew we were going to be talking about neuroscience today?
We're talking about scattered brains, right? So, I mean, how many thoughts do we have a minute? We got to talk about the neuroscience behind that and how you can hone in, apparently. And also, like, we can't have, like, a perfectly clear mind at all times.
No, you have, like, 35 thoughts. I actually wrote this down. Hold on, let me pull it up.
35? Just 35?
No, it's like hold on. Let me pull it up, because I wrote it down because it was like so incredibly insane.
Okay, I was about to say,
here we go. All right, so 35 thoughts a minute equals 50,400 thoughts per day. That's 18,396,000 thoughts per year that are just random.
They're just there.
They're just there.
They're floating in the atmosphere.
So why not retrain your brain so that way you're hearing fun, positive, goofy, silly things. And
you can, and mind you, also, I was talking to somebody else about this. I was listening to a lot of like old school punk music, and some of that it's not the inner dialogue that you hear when listening to pop punk. Some, not all, just certain ones. Because there's a pop punk band that I will listen to, and it empowers the living crud out of me, and I love them. Super Chick, if you ever want to check them out. But, some other voices in that genre, and that could be in any genre, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It has like self-debasing lyrics.
Yeah.
And I get it. You can connect with that for a time, and it could heal you, or at least help you not feel alone.
I will admit that there were songs that I had listened to right around, I'm going to come out and say it, right around the time of my divorce, that were listening to them now, I hear the negative self-talk comments in it. At that point in time, because I was going through a form of grief, because I was letting go of the identity of being a married Katie to being a single Katie, was a type of grief, new identity. So at that moment in time, I needed to hear that other people were going through the same kinds of
Feelings.
chaotic feelings that I was going through. Now I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, the music's still good, but I'm not listening to that song on repeat like I was back then.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Now I'm unfortunately got K-pop Demon Hunter songs stuck in my head. But but at least that's talking about soda pop. It's not talking about it's not it you know it
I had her.
yeah, you were nice enough to let me watch it, and
It was
and you randomly send me
my Netflix account just for that one night.
Just for that one night, so I could watch K-pop Demon Hunter. It was fun, and but again, it's the music that we listen to in certain parts of our lives will change because it doesn't fit where we are anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people change genres, some people change preferred artists, some people change different countries.
Yeah,
with music, because it depends on what's going to help you feel healed and empowered and moving forward.
I had this period of time, now that you say that, where one of my best friends was in the car with me, and he's listened to all of my music before. Well, he's listened to the music that I usually keep on repeat. And he's like, I need you to listen to new music. You need to listen to new music. And I'm like, why? Because I was so stuck in the past that I didn't want to listen to new music. I wasn't ready to let go of whatever I was stewing in to open myself to new music. And this is the same thing with movies.
Yes.
Okay. So I won't open myself up to new movies unless somebody takes me to, the Directors Guild of America, theater, like the best movie theater in the freaking United States, to watch a movie, or on my own. I finally felt like I've completed something, or I felt like I've processed some type of something in my life for me to be open to watching something new or listening to something new. Normally it's Stray Kids, but you'll understand. Yeah.
And then you have those friends that will just randomly send you stuff that happened to be just what you needed to hear, even though it's now stuck in your head.
Why do you think I send you those reels?
Because you know that I'm over here saying, no, not another one.
It was a sheriff doing the soda pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
that was great. I will admit, watching the cop do the soda pop choreography was pretty darn awesome. That was very entertaining. I do appreciate that.
I needed something. This will disrupt.
It did disrupt the thought process, because I will admit I was not thinking about everything that was going on that I was not happy about. It was like, why is Ace sending me this? Now I know why Ace is sending me this. Okay, we're just gonna smile, nod, and move on.
Joy will help you shift.
Yes, joy will help you shift.
But yeah, in the midst of your shifting, there's all of those thoughts that come to the surface that need to be reconciled and whatnot. Or, for instance, you're busy, or you want to focus on finishing something, or you can't help but have this conversation with this cutie pie asleep.
Yes.
All you want to do is just cuddle her. There's so many things. And I think, as a closing thought,
okay,
it's okay that we're scattered sometimes. It's perfectly,
yeah,
it's perfectly human. It's just how I'm so committed to doing this, I will do it. No, I'm just kidding. That's Katie's approach. It all depends. Go ahead, Katie.
There's a difference between being committed to it because of my belief of honoring my word, honoring my vow, and staying true to my word, and being committed to it out of fear.
Oh, that's different. You will scatterbrain your life away. Now.
Yeah. So I just want to be very clear from that component. Yes, I was joking earlier about the fact that even though I had a really, really rough week, I am committed to being here. The reason I'm committed to being here is because this helps feed my soul. This helps fill my cup. This helps me smile, laugh, and just enjoy the fact that we can have open, honest conversations with no judgment or expectations other than the fact that we're having fun.
Yeah. I wish I had those. Just like if you watch podcast, I wish you could the photos could just pop up on your iPod while you're listening to a podcast. iPod, wow, your iPhone. There's my age.
We're still young at heart. That's all that matters.
Oh my goodness, iPod. Back to the thoughts. Yes. Thank you.
No, you're welcome, sweetie. And on that note, thank you everyone for hanging out with us yet again. And we will see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.